Welcome to Professional Quotient, or PQ. These are conversations that build equity. I'm your host, Jason Winningham, and today we have a very special guest, Alicia Layfield. Alicia, thank you for coming today. Would you like to introduce yourself to
Yeah,
us?
absolutely. I'm Alicia Layfield, owner of Casa Layfield, a boutique marketing agency here in Houston, Texas.
Awesome. And tell me, you're working in the marketing field. What does that look like? What do you do? What's your typical day?
Yeah, so my typical day, it's it's different every day. Just it's one day I will be at a client site with a photographer shooting content for social media. Another day managing my team to help produce emails and other social media aspects for clients, building websites, things like that.
You obviously had an impactful teacher that came in and helped move your trajectory into marketing. Can you tell me a little bit about how that happened?
Love that question. Thank you. So I had a teacher in high school that said, "Hey, Alicia, you'd be really, really great at graphic design." And so I just took that and ran with it and feverishly looked up so many schools in Texas for graphic design and ended up at University of North Texas in a degree in communication design.
Oh, that's awesome. It sounds like there had to have been something within your teacher's recommendation that agreed with your soul to on that. Like you must have said, "Yeah, what kind of strengths or skill set did you have then that you felt would lend themselves to graphic design?"
Yeah, I think it's just being a art kid in general. I was in pottery, I did AutoCAD, and most of all, woodworking. So I always had a creative mind. But one of the things about being a tradesman in a way is that there's not a lot of money out there for tradesmen in that aspect, in that regard to art. And so I think one of her things was, how can we get you to do art and make money? And so I think that's where she was coming from there. And that's what my mom also at that time went with as well.
Well, that is really solid advice that I feel like more people don't get, or too many people don't get that kind of advice at that age, because what a crucial age, because it was before you even got into education. So you could, well, I guess you were in high school, but with higher education, so you were able to really focus on something that incorporated your love of art with an ability to earn money and earn a profession.
Exactly, exactly. And I think not to say that you have to go to college for marketing in order to get a good marketing degree, but that's how I got into where I'm at today.
Well, it's really cool that you found a passion and were able to follow that. And one of the questions I was going to ask you is if there was somebody in your path that really influenced you, and it sounds like your teacher was.
Yes, she was always there after school to help me with any pottery project, always went above and beyond. And I think that really I I still think about her today. I should probably reach out, to be honest, because she did help shape my life so much. Just with that suggestion.
Now, when it comes to professional quotient, we like to define that here as our ability to use our portfolio of professional equity, which is the combination of our skills, our knowledge, our experience, our education, and our community or network of people around us. When thinking about your professional equity, what would you say is something that has the most value to you?
I would say right now, being a small business owner, it's networking. That's key. Building leads, the business development part of it. But not even just that, it's being within the community and being a part of organizations that support you. Because it's not only about small businesses, a lot of the chambers of commerce in your local area, they help with corporate life as well. So it's a mix. You get the best of both worlds.
How do you go about getting grounded in some of those communities?
Yeah, just go. Uh, I
Mhm.
I I show up, I sign up a lot for a lot of the events, and I just go. I go there with a smile, I shake hands, I do everything I can to really not necessarily set myself apart, but really just caring about other people and what they do, because I'm a forever learner. Even though I'm not in school right now, you're just always wanna grow, always wanna learn.
Absolutely. Now, are you gregarious and extroverted all the time so that those community events are easy for you, or is it a challenge for you?
That is a great question because I'm an extrovert introvert. So there are days where I want to sit in my PJs all day and do nothing and talk to no one. Um, but at these events, because I have gone so many times, I will probably see somebody I know. And so if I'm having an off day, or if I don't necessarily feel like going out and really really going out there to try to get new business or meet somebody new, I do go in my safety net of the people that I know.
And so, say that you're going to a new place, a new community where you don't think you know somebody. How do you overcome to attend that then?
One trick that I use, and I would probably use if we were in person, this is what I would use. So my business card is also doubles as a microfiber cloth. So if I see somebody with glasses, I typically always somebody with glasses and I look for them. And I'm just like, "Hey, do you want a microfiber cloth?" And then we start a conversation. So like these are great even though it's like a little kitschy, it's a great conversation starter. And I've had people come up to me asking for more. And I'm like, "You know what? Why not?"
I don't know what kitschy means, but I think it's brilliant. I think that is an awesome way to have a starter. It's challenging when you don't have that to go into a big, because usually networking events have tons of people, tons of people talking, and it's almost like you have to, like, just break in and do it, which is not natural for me in those scenarios. So having something like that is brilliant because you could say, "Oh my goodness, I'm meeting a need you have, like, and let's talk."
Yeah, so I do that sometimes, and I actually met somebody that I did that at an Astros game. I wasn't looking for anything, and she was like, "Oh, you do events too? You should join our organization." And so here I am a year later on several committees of this organization. It's Women in Sports and Events, and greatest group of women I have ever met. And so it all started with the microfiber cloth.
Actually, no. It all started with an idea in Alicia's mind because you made that, and that's awesome.
That's true, that's true. I can't take all the credit because one of my clients actually does promotional items. So we were brainstorming together, and that's how that one came up, and it's been great.
Well, you've just demonstrated the power of community in a couple ways too, because you're able to go and share your skill set and your business with others, and you're also able to enhance what you have to offer because you're connecting with friends. I love that.
Yeah. And if there's no, obviously not everybody wears glasses. If I don't see an opportunity there, on the other end of that, if I see somebody that's really well dressed, I love fashion. And so I'll say, "Oh my gosh, I love your shirt. I love the pattern on your shirt. I love that." And it's sincere because I love fashion. and so and so we start conversations that way. Or, you can go the other route, a simple hello, hi, how are you doing? And getting into your business, or, how you can help.
I love that. So you're sharing with us that the most valuable aspect right now of your professional equity is your community and community building. And you do have a hook because one of my questions was going to be how you overcome challenges to do that. And you've shared that you have this hook. Are there any other challenges to building your professional quotient and your building up that equity that you would like to share with us?
I think one thing that comes up just in my small business day to day is there may be something, and this doesn't necessarily answer your question, but it just made me think about something else. Um, so let's say I needed to source something for a client and I had never done that before. I have PR partners that I've met through the chamber that I'm able to call on and say, "Hey, Jenny, do you know how to do this? Can you help me?" And even though we're, obviously we're partners, but it really helps in building that equity. I guess to answer your question, it's showing up. That's like the baseline thing that you can do is show up. And and now that I'm saying this, I have an event tonight that I seriously do not want to go to. But now I'm like, okay, I need to take my own advice and show up because there's more than likely every event that I've gone to, I've gotten something out of it. If it's the speaker, if it's talking to the person next to me, it's just little tidbits along the way that have helped me learn and just grow.
I love that. It resonates with me because I found that every part of my own professional journey, it has been enhanced just by showing up and getting engaged. Not just showing up, engaging. Because if you show up and you don't talk to anybody, you could have watched it as a video at home. Like, but once you've made a connection with somebody, there seems to be that exponential potential, of because you never know who you're going to meet and what that could lead to. I love that. Let's say somebody's listening to this conversation and they think, I might be interested in marketing. What advice would you give them on how to break into the field, or what advice would you give them to help learn more about it to make that decision?
The biggest thing, newsletters. That's what's really helped me just to gain more information just about what other companies are doing or and so one in particular it's marketing millennials because I'm a millennial, and so they'll have job postings there too. It's also getting into your community. There's so many marketing organizations. Like there's the American Advertising Federation, there's the American Marketing Association. Go and join those groups, meet people, because right now, a lot of people are so focused on digital and remote work, and those jobs are what like, you have thousands of people applying for one job, and so what really makes a difference is knowing someone. So, go out, touch the grass, go to these events at these organizations, and learn more about marketing there.
I love that. And that expression, touch the grass. You mean by that to go in person and
Yeah,
meet
go
people
outside, yeah, smell the fresh air, don't get st don't be a gamer sitting there and which I used to do in college too. Don't be a gamer just sitting there in the dark in your cave, actually just go out there.
Well, I do like to be able to control my stimuli. That's it's one of those things where being neurodivergent and not having that language growing up, I didn't know how much of my energy was being sapped by trying to tune out noise and light and being able to tune into the right things. And at home you can kind of do that. You can kind of, all right, I have bright lights on while I record, but then they go off when I'm working. And I can control volume really easy at home, whereas going to an in-person event has a lot of challenges I can't control. But what I'm hearing from you though, and which I resonate with and find to be very truthful, is that there's still such a value in kind of putting myself through that extra and putting my feet on the grass, so to speak. Um, because there are always those connections that you can't really just invent or manufacture trying to meet people virtually. There might be some good there are some like ways you can join a virtual group and do that. And by all means, I encourage everybody to join every virtual group they can. But there is something about those in-person events too that really spark a different level of connecting kind of quickly. Are there online like groups that you also join, or is it just those in-person ones that are valuable to you?
I do both. So this week is Small Business Week. So thanks for interviewing me during this week. Um, but But I attended the Small Business Administration. They had a 2-day conference on Tuesday and Wednesday. And so I attended some of those virtually. But those are more of, seminar, webinar type. So you don't necessarily get to network. Right. And so, but the local chambers also have in-person and virtual events. So for example, there was a lawyer here in Houston that presented about trademarking. And then they open it up at the end for questions. And so there is discourse between the attendees on that. But it's more events like that are virtual for me, not necessarily really building that human connection.
Thank you for your thoughts on that for sure. Are there additional thoughts you have or something that you'd like to spotlight while you have this audience here?
Other than touch the grass, it's be open to new experiences. I never thought, like, I have been an extroverted person, but also very introverted at the same time. And I never thought I would be a business owner at all. I really thought I was just going to keep climbing that corporate ladder and just go till I'm like CMO of something. And so it was really about that is being open to a new path. Be open because you never know, like, in a tumultuous time, you never know what your next opportunity is, and look at it as an opportunity.
Do you mind me inquiring a little more about what kind of led you into that then?
There were a lot of layoffs in commercial real estate, and unfortunately I was a part of that. And to be perfectly honest, because I have over a decade of commercial real estate experience, only commercial real estate firms were looking at me. And it was really, really, really hard to even get an interview outside of commercial real estate. With that, I was like, I don't want to do this right now. I want to take a break. And I need a break. My soul needed a break from it. And so now, like, I'm working with a talent manager for comedians. I'm working with a spa. I'm working, with fashion designer. I'm working with restaurants. And and so it's just completely different, and this is something I would never have been able to do if I kept going on the same path.
Absolutely. And are those all opportunities you've made through those touching the grass moments, every single one? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
like I have one. I went to an event. Yes, yes, all of them. I'm like going through my client, my client. I have a client list over here on my sideboard. Yeah, in
Mhm.
person, in person, in person, in person, in person. Yeah,
Awesome.
it, yeah,
Well, that's really neat. And it also speaks to you because you are a really warm and inviting person, easy to get to know. So I think that lends itself to you being able to go into those events and make friends that turn into business partners.
right, right, 100%. Yes.
Mm, that's awesome. Would you like to share a little bit about your company and that entrepreneurial lens that you have on the world now then?
Yeah. So at Casa Layfield, we really partner with small businesses in taking a holistic view at their marketing. So small businesses really require doing everything. Even for my business, it's like finance, operations, like you're doing everything. Whereas, in corporate America, it's a bit more siloed in a way. Even though, you're in one vertical, it's still siloed. And so we help small businesses grow. And so we take a look at their website, their social media, help them with Google ads, help them with all sorts of things. And that journey has just been a learning experience in and of itself. And that's something that I wouldn't have done if I just went back into corporate America.
Sure. And if somebody was looking at that and wanting to be an entrepreneur of themselves, whether it's marketing or whatever small company they might want to create, what advice would you give them on getting started?
So definitely mine came out of, fire and brimstone, but If I were to go back, maybe starting it while, on your off hours, starting something on your off hours, going to the Small Business Administration, getting resources there, go partnering with your local chambers and doing that. And that has really helped guide me in my business because there's so many I did not realize until I got out of that bubble. There's so many resources out there, and you literally just they're at your fingertips. You have a laptop, they're at your fingertips. You have a phone, you can find them. There's so many free resources too, and so that's where I would start.
I've super enjoyed this conversation, Alicia, and I really just thank you so much for your time. And I want to remind our audience that if you've enjoyed this conversation, you can like, share, subscribe, and leave a positive review. And before we go, Alicia, my final question is there anybody you think we should invite on this show to hear from?
Yes, I would say Lexi Zager, if you have not already interviewed her.
I would love to reach out to Lexi, and I will do so. Thank you for that recommendation. So remember that just like we have an IQ and we have an EQ, we also have a PQ, our professional quotient. But unlike our IQ and our EQ, our PQ can easily be raised every single day. Just keep learning, building, and connecting. Until next time.